Hi. So yesterday, that is on 20th of July, there was a match which was going to be played between India and Pakistan in the World Championship for Legends in England. It was organized by a private body, but it was a multi-nation tournament for the ex-cricketers, where there were also other countries like Australia and South Africa in the fray. So perfectly multinational tournament. But then yesterday, Shikhar Dhawan, who has been very vocal against playing against Pakistan in the light of the Pahalgam attack and the Operation Sindoor and the geopolitical situation, again pulled out of the match, saying that he was not in favor of and he would not be playing that. And once he took that stand, I think he got the backing of other ex-players, Indian players like Pathan brothers, Harbhajan Singh, Suresh Raina and Yuvraj Singh. And after that, the organizers thankfully put out a post saying that they were cancelling the match. They didn't want to put the Indian players in a tight situation, but very smartly they put in their post something which has put now the entire Indian sports fraternity, that includes fans, the governing bodies, the even the government, in a quandary, because it has now exposed the double standard, and it has not only exposed the double standard and the hypocrisy in the name of playing Pakistan or not playing Pakistan and showing patriotism, it has also now put in question any future competition which, or any future sports contact which has been happening in a very subtle way in the past. Now no longer it can be done in the past, because it has now highlighted the double standard. Now I'll tell you what is that double standard. Double standard is whether to play Pakistan or not, and what is our official stand, and what is the stand of the fans or the people who are the social media warriors, about the governing bodies, about the players and about the athletes and even the government. I'll tell you how and why it has now come into the forefront with a much more, under the much more scanner. On 22nd of April, the Pahalgam attack happened. On 7th of May, Operation Sindoor happened, where India hit back at Pakistan for their continuous support for terrorism by hitting their terrorist base. And then they also hit back by attacking Indian border states and border places and killing civilians in retaliation. So the whole situation became tense, and we were almost at the verge of a full-scale war. We are talking about the month of May. So then what happened? There were talks about no contact with Pakistan, no exchange with Pakistan in the field of movies or music or literature or sports. And there was endorsement whenever people were putting that, and there were some big talks going on, and some hyper nationalism was at the peak. But then what was happening? Very conveniently, on 24th of May, India was playing in the same month where this Operation Sindoor was happening. India was playing Junior Davis Cup with Pakistan. Then on 26th of June, India was playing Asian Squash Doubles tournament against Pakistan. And barely 3 days back, on 18th of July, India was playing a under 16 volleyball semi-final with Pakistan. There was no noise, there was no protest, there was no sign of demonstration or big statements coming, how we are playing, why we are playing, who allowed that. No, everybody gave clearances. Clearances were from the government, governing bodies were comfortable, and the players were very happy, and matches were going on in the height of this Operation Sindoor and also the geopolitical situation. We are not talking about 6 months or 1 year from the conflict. We are talking about in the couple of months during as well as after the Operation Sindoor. This was going on, and there was no noise, nobody, everything was being allowed to fly under the radar, and everybody was comfortable with that. But the moment there was a world championship for legends in cricket, it has come to the forefront, and there were questions, and then the players had to take a chance, and fine. Now what has happened is that, okay, the championship is now, the match has been cancelled, and the organizers are also in a comfortable position because they didn't want to take any chance and face the ire or the anger. Players have also taken their stand because they are ex-players, so they could afford to take, and now they are also looking very patriotic, fine. But the problem is not over. What will happen if India again gets to play them in the final or in the semi-final of the World Championship for Legends? That is another question. Nobody has given any clarity, nor the organizers, not even the Indian players. But even that you can forget, because it's a privately organized event. At best it can be then cancelled or postponed, and it would be a disaster. So that for the organizers have to face. The real trouble would be now for the official front in India. What would be our stand? What is the clarity? How much double standard and hypocrisy we can carry on in the name of not to play Pakistan or to play Pakistan without that clarity? It cannot go on as per convenience and only in cricket, because it gives you the TRPs, the eyeballs, and that gives you a real backing among the people by taking some very strong stand and then keeping silent in the others. What will be your stand when the organizers say that they did this event with the clear assurance, thinking that it would be allowed because they now understand that the Pakistan hockey team is coming to India to play the Asia Cup and also the Junior World Cup, and they were under that impression that if that was officially allowed, they would be allowed to have this event between a ex-Indian players team and a ex-Pakistan players team. And they have actually raised a very pertinent question: what would be your stand now for the Asian Cup hockey tournament as well as the Junior World Cup? Are you going to allow or to play Pakistan or not? Because if you don't play, you would be sanctioned against being allocated any further events in the future, and that would affect your effort to get the 2036 Olympics, and you are aware of it. That's why you have very conveniently allowed them and keeping them under the radar, because you know that other sports other than cricket are not under the scanner too much, so you could allow to get done without being blamed for not being enough patriotic. Now even forget that. Even if you try to do that in that very malicious or a very smart way, what would be your stand about the World Cup for women that is going to happen later this year, the ODI World Cup? Are you going to play against Pakistan as per the schedule, or you are not going to play? What about the T20 Men's World Cup next year, where you have actually assured that you will be playing Pakistan, though outside India, because Pakistan won't travel? Are you going to play them or not play? So these questions you have to answer. You cannot go on postponing. Okay, you can postpone in answering it by allowing to play for other sports, because that double standard maybe this country nobody is now noticing, because cricket is the only sport. But then you are very soon going to face the same country with cricket in the women's ODI World Cup and the men's T20 World Cup, and you have to then address that. You can't go on showing your double standard and being an embarrassment in the world front, and when people ask this question you would have no answer. So you have to find out answer and take a concrete stand. You cannot be having these dual standards and double standards and take a stand as per it suits you. So hope it would be settled once and for all, so that there won't be few people who would be always blamed to be traitors or unpatriotic by saying that okay, we are playing somewhere else, why can't we play this at this place? Or there won't be some people whose nationalism would go west because they are not very much fans or followers of other sports. So take a stand, make it easy for people to have one line of thought, at least based on the official stand. Thank you.